I just wanted a grilled cheese, man. Written by Reader Revolution. Summary. Danny just wanted a grilled cheese. That was it. He did not want to accidentally kill the Joker. He did not want to be on Batman's radar. And he definitely did not want Red Hood to kiss him, cry on him, and then propose, all within the span of 10 minutes. But here he is, in Gotham, standing over Joker's corpse, with a very emotionally compromised vigilante looking at him like he just hung the damn stars. Danny is so tired. Or, my take on Danny accidentally killing the Joker. Danny was just out for a grilled cheese. That was it. He didn't even know why he wanted one so bad, just that it was imperative that he got one. Maybe some ghost sense bullshit. Maybe Clockwork put the craving in his brain for some dumb reason. Who knows? Danny just wanted a grilled cheese. Point is, he was not expecting to get jumped in a Gotham alleyway by a clown. Danny does not like clowns. In fact, he hates clowns. He has trauma involving clowns. And before he even knew what he was doing, before he could think, his fist was buried in the bastard's face. Crunch. Danny, on pure instinct, punched the absolute life out of him. Literally. The man's head snapped back with an ugly crack, body dropping like a sack of rotten potatoes. Then he blinked, looked at his hand, looked at the corpse, and then looked back at his hands. Shit! Then he panicked a little, then panicked a lot. Because that wasn't just any dead clown. That was the Joker. Then he stared at the body. Oh fuck. He crouched down, shook the guy's shoulder. Nothing. No breathing, no heartbeat, no anything. No annoying, awful laughter. Then he stared harder. Oh fuck. A wave of cold terror crashed over him. Because holy shit, he just killed a man. And not just any man. This was the Joker. Of all the people to kill by accident, it just had to be BDSM Leather Furry's personal nemesis. Danny did not want to be on Batman's radar. He had zero desire to deal with Gotham's unhinged, Bat-themed trauma victims. He was already one bad day away from a breakdown himself. He did not need to get roped into whatever psychology horror show they had going on. He took a slow, calming breath. Okay, think. If he left right now, maybe Batman wouldn't notice. And as if the universe hated him, it did. Another figure dropped from the shadows, boots hitting the concrete. Red. Helmet. Guns. A fucking bat symbol. Red Hood. Then he felt his core scream. He was so fucked. Jason stared. Then he stared some more. The Joker was on the ground, not moving, head at an unnatural angle, blood pooling beneath his nose. Jason turned his gaze to the guy standing over him, a civilian, some scrawny, tired-looking dude in pajama pants and a hoodie, gripping a half-melted grilled cheese in one hand like it was the most important thing in the world. The guy was shaking, staring at the body with wide, blue eyes, like he couldn't believe it either. Jason swallowed. His hands trembled. His chest felt tight. Joker was dead. Joker was dead. And this absolute rando had done it. Just some guy out for grilled cheese at 2 a.m. had done what Batman never could, what he had never been allowed to do. Jason felt something in his chest break. He took a step forward. The guy flinched. Jason didn't care. He needed to confirm it. He knelt, pressed 2 fingers to Joker's neck. Nothing. He was gone. He was finally. His vision blurred green. He stood, turned to the stranger, and asked, "Can I kiss you?" The guy blinked. "What? Can I kiss you?" The guy looked at him like Jason had just asked for his soul, and then, with the same energy as a man throwing himself off a cliff, he whispered, "Sure?" Helmet off, hands on his face, lips crashing against his. The guy made a noise of surprise, but didn't push him away. Didn't resist, just melted into it, letting Jason take. Jason had never kissed someone so hard that he felt like he could die. When he finally pulled back, he let his forehead rest against the guy's shoulder, He exhaled a choked, shuddering thing. Joker was dead. Joker was finally dead. Jason's chest hurt more than anything. It hurt because Joker was gone. The thing that had hunted his nightmares, that had made him a corpse, that had ruined him, was gone. Jason took a slow, shaky breath. He felt weird, off-kilter, like his entire world had just been flipped upside down and shaken like a snow globe. Joker was dead. Joker was dead. And this tired, scrawny, pajama-wearing menace had done it. Had done what Jason had dreamed of for years. Had ended the nightmare with a single, casual, accidental punch. Something deep in Jason's chest cracked open. And before he could stop himself, before he could even think, he latched onto Danny like a goddamn lifeline. Danny made a startled noise as Jason all but collapsed against him. Arms wrapped tightly around his back, face buried itself in his hoodie. He was solid, warm, real. Jason felt his breath hitch. Danny went rigid. Dude? What? Jason just held on. Because the Joker was gone. The thing that had stolen his life, that had ruined everything, was gone. And Jason? Jason was still here. He clenched his fists into Danny's hoodie, breath shuddering out of him. He didn't know if he wanted to laugh or cry. Maybe both. Probably both. Definitely both. Jason sucked in a breath and another, and then, all at once, he broke. Tears burned down his cheeks, soaking into the stranger's hoodie. He choked on a sob, gripping the fabric like a lifeline. For his mom, for Bruce, for Tim, for Robin. He cried like a child. And to his utter disbelief, the guy who had been stiff and panicked since this whole thing started, lifted a shaky hand and then, carefully, like he wasn't sure it was the right thing to do, he sighed and patted his head, and oh so softly started combing through Jason's hair. Careful, gentle, slow. Jason sobbed harder. And Danny, still very much panicking, still not sure what the fuck was going on, he stared down at the guy in his arms, who was still crying, like ugly crying, like the, oh God, he has so much trauma, and he's finally letting it out, someone help me, kind of crying. Danny was not equipped for this. He was barely equipped to deal with his own trauma, let alone whatever this dude had going on. But, well, the least he could do was, like, let him cry it out. Yeah, that sounded like the right thing to do. So he kept combing through the guy's hair, trying his best to make the whole thing less awkward. Because really, what the fuck was happening? He currently has a full-grown man sobbing into his hoodie. The smell of blood mixed with the faint scent of leather and gunpowder, and Danny was suddenly very aware of how armed Red Hood was. But despite that, the guy was just breaking apart in his arms. And what the hell was Danny supposed to do with that? Danny did not know what to do with that. Should he say something? Try to move? Crack a joke? No. That was a terrible idea. This guy was armed. Danny swallowed. His throat was dry. Carefully, he patted Red Hood's back with his other hand. There. Danny's voice came out weak, under a broken noise. Danny winced. Abort! Bad idea! But Hood didn't seem to care. Didn't even react beyond just gripping him harder, pressing harder against Danny's shoulder, and letting out more quiet, gut-wrenching sobs. Oh God, oh no. That had been the wrong thing to say. Danny's panic doubled. Then he looked down at his half-melted grilled cheese that has fallen to the floor. And he swallowed hard. His grilled cheese. His beautiful, perfect, hard-earned grilled cheese. Gone. Fallen to the dirty Gotham alleyway like some tragic war casualty. He wanted to cry. Red Hood was still clinging to him like a man drooling. Still shaking, still letting out these awful choked sounds that made Danny want to apologize, despite not knowing what for. So with the deeply ingrained awkwardness of a guy who did not sign up for this, Danny just kept petting his hair. It was soft. Way softer than he expected. Like criminally soft. The guy used good conditioner. Danny's brain, desperate for any sort of normalcy, decided that was the thought it was gonna latch onto. Cool, sure, that's fine. Danny's life was a goddamn joke. Because really, what else could he call this? And, oh yeah, Batman was totally gonna hunt him down now. Awesome, fantastic, loved it for him. Then he stared at the blood-stained ground, inhaled through his nose, and slowly exhaled through his mouth, like Jazz always told him to. Except, breathing exercises were kinda hard when a vigilante/mass murderer was currently clinging to him like a very large, very traumatized koala. Jason shuddered against him, breath hitching, as he tried and failed to get himself under control. Then he felt the darkness seeping into his hoodie and had to resist the urge to panic all over again. What was the proper etiquette for this situation? Was there etiquette for this situation? Fuck it. He'd improvise. Then he petted Red Hood's back again. You good, dude? He made another unholy noise. Yeah, that was a no. Then he took another deep breath. Right, okay. So his grilled cheese was gone, and he was gonna have to flee the city by sunrise if he didn't want to be bat-swarmed. This was fine. This was fine. No, it absolutely was not. But for now, he had a more immediate problem. The guy had stopped crying, which was great. Progress, except now he was just standing there. Arms still loosely wrapped around Danny, face buried in his shoulder, like he had no intent of moving ever again. Then he squinted down at him. Dude? Jason didn't respond. Oh no. Carefully, cautiously, Danny poked his cheek. Hey, you still with me? A slow inhale, a shaky exhale. Then finally, Jason lifted his head. His eyes were probably red and puffy, but his mask was covering that. Probably. You okay? Then he tried. Jason blinked at him, then looked down at the Joker's corpse, like he'd forgotten it was even there. His lips parted, then shut. He inhaled, exhaled, and then he turned back to Danny and nodded. Then he narrowed his eyes. You sure? Jason huffed out a breath, stepping back, and ran a hand through his stupidly soft hair. Yeah, his voice was rough, cracked from crying, but a lot steadier than Danny expected. Yeah, I think I am. Danny did not believe that for a second, but also not his problem. Jason sniffed, cleared his throat, and then, to Danny's horror, turned and kicked Joker's corpse. Motherfucker, Jason muttered. Goddamn piece of shit. He kicked him again, harder, and again, with more force, sending the body rolling a few inches across the alley. Danny's soul nearly left his body. Dude! Jason ignored him, hands on his hips, as he stared at the body like it personally owed him money. I should burn him, he said, almost conversationally. Danny blinked. What? Jason hummed, like he was actually considering it. You're right. Fire's too good for him. But finality. I like finality. He turned his gaze back to Danny, a little too intense, like he was trying to read him. Unless you want to do something with him. Danny recoiled. Why the fuck would I want to do something with him? Jason raised an eyebrow. I don't know. You killed him. Then he choked on air. It was an accident! Jason gave him a look. Then he threw his hands in the air. I was just out for grilled cheese, man! Jason nodded solemnly. And just like that, you'll have committed the most morally correct homicide in Gotham's history. Then he groaned, dragging his hand down his face. Oh my God, please shut up. Jason smirked. No, really. You'll have done a public service. You might even get the key to the city, assuming Batman doesn't kill you first. Then he gagged. I don't want the key to Gotham. Jason hummed. Jason watched as this absolute menace of a man mourned his fallen grilled cheese like it was a lost, loved one. Something in his chest ached, because this guy, this random citizen, had just waltzed into Gotham, accidentally committed the single greatest act of justice the city had ever seen, and was now glaring at the ground like he was the real victim here. And Jason? Jason was so gone. It wasn't just the fact that Danny had punched Joker's soul straight out of his body with the casual effort of a man swatting a fly. It wasn't even that he did it on accident. It was the fact that after all that, after making history, after making Jason's entire goddamn life, he was standing there, utterly devastated, over fucking grilled cheese. Jason had never wanted to love someone so much in his life. Wait, he blinked, processed that thought. Oh, fuck! Jason swallowed, shifting on his feet. Then he was still glaring at the ground like it had personally wronged him. His hair caught the dim glow of a flickering street light, and Jason's brain short-circuited all over again. This guy was a walking disaster. Jason was in so much trouble. Danny, meanwhile, was just trying to figure out how the hell his night had gone so spectacularly off the rails. 1 minute, he was on a holy mission for grilled cheese. The next, he was being drama bonded into what was probably a very concerning situation with Gotham's most murder-happy bat. And now said bat was looking at him, not like before, when he had been crying or having a full existential crisis over the Joker's very deserved death. No, now Red Hood was looking at him like Danny had personally hung the stars. And Danny did not know how to deal with that. Danny squinted at him. You good, dude? Jason blinked, very slowly, like his hair had lagged. Then, way too smoothly, way too coolly, he said, "You wanna get married?" Danny made a noise that could only be described as a window shut down noise. Red Hood apparently was completely serious. He nodded to himself like he was coming to terms with his own words. Yeah, that sounds right. You wanna get married? Danny flailed. No? He hummed. You sure? Because I'm really feeling some, soulmate level shit right now. Danny's brain had officially left the chat. We literally just met. Jason shrugged. Yeah, and? You punched the life out of the Joker. I feel like that bonds us in a way no one else will ever understand. Then he groaned. Dude. Jason smirked. Darling. Then he groaned harder. This could not be his life. This was not his life. He refused to accept that this was happening. Then he squinted at Red Hood, absolutely not trusting the look on his face. Dude. You kissed me like 2 minutes ago, and now you're proposing. What the hell kind of speedrun is this? Jason, completely unbothered, just shrugged. You let me kiss you. Then he opened his mouth, then shut it. I was in shock. Jason smirked. Still counts. Then he groaned into his hands. He was too tired for this. He was so tired. He did not have the energy to deal with whatever Gotham's most feral bat was doing right now. Jason, no. Jason was having the best night of his life. Joker? Dead. Finally. Completely. Permanently dead. His biggest nightmare. His most hated enemy. The reason for his second fucking chance at life. Gone. And the guy who did it? Some exhausted guy who looked like he had never had a single good day in his life. And Jason had kissed him. And he had let him. And now Jason was feeling some really intense feelings about it. Then he let out a slow, shuddering breath. This was fine. This was totally fine. No, it wasn't. Red Hood was still staring at him, with that look, like he was 2 seconds away from buying Danny a ring. I just wanted a grilled cheese, he whispered. Jason nodded solemnly. And you will have your grilled cheese, babe. I will make you a grilled cheese. Then he froze. You cook? Jason tilted his head. I can cook. Not sure if I want. After you just insulted our engagement. Then he let out a slow, suffering breath. We are not engaged. Jason smiled. Not yet. Then he groaned. I'm so leaving Gotham. Jason clapped a hand over his shoulder. Grip firm. No, you're not. Then he glared at him. Jason just grinned. And that was the chapter. No, that's not a chapter. God damn it. And that was the one shot. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. If you like my videos in general, feel free to subscribe and share the video. I just thought if this would continue, would like Jason keep like be like a stalker to Danny? Kinda. Always making sure that he has enough food, you know? Like, it's just randomly, like, while reading this, I was like, if this continued, how would this continue? And I was like, I could see Jason after this, stalking after Danny, making sure he always eats and drinks enough, because he probably, Danny, I don't know, tired and all that, you know? His life is always, like, not that lucky. And at first, that tries to like I don't know capture his heart or something like that. Yeah, probably. And then he somehow slips away, but then Jason catches up because I don't know, he got revived once. Then he's basically a half ghost, so maybe that has some implications. I'm just theorizing about something that I will probably never write. But there's no continuation of this, so it's fun. It's fun. I know someone else on YouTube also made this story into a podfic, so if that's not the first time you heard it, that's probably why. But other than that, I make podfics. So if you have a fanfiction you want me to read, you can like commission me to do that over Discord or Tumblr. Infos that are on the screen or in the channel description. And if you do that, you get early access to my Discord server, where you can just chill with me, listen to me record these podfics live, or know what exact fic I'm posting next. My life is fucking strange. Like, it seems normal, but something is just not right. I don't know what. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your life, and see you next time.